Hello, everybody. This is James Diboe on Discovering, dedicated to original peoples, and we got a special guest in. He's been on before many times. Zabdiel Uchechi, how you doing, my brother? Good to have you
praise
back.
due to the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the third year, 1923, signed his name, W.F. Muhammad. All praise to thee, man. Assalamu to all of my people out there, my original people.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Original peoples, because without original peoples, there wouldn't be no knowledge out there, So anyway, good to have you back anyway. How you doing anyway? Everything good with your life?
Yes, but my whole praise to Allah, man. Family, working, training, studying, trying to be the best we can be, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be soldiers, man.
Yeah, you still do any boxing training? Because former professional boxer as well, which we never covered last time.
Yeah, I know, man. Listen, we're going to do plenty of different podcasts, so we can go into that in more detail. But yeah, man, still boxing unbeaten. You get me? Three-time Northwest champion. But now I'm just training the kids. But I want to start my own boxing club in my own area, man. So I can get all these boys off road, get them in the gym, train them. You know what I'm saying? Keep them disciplined.
Great. You're the right man to do that. You just came up yourself. That's how it is, man. But where we going anyway is it's about like the meeting of the mind. It's about this podcast is more just it's about we free to go where we want to go if necessary, whatever is necessary by any means necessary. Yeah. So basically, a few things that I was speaking to you about, something called the Mothership. The Mothership, which Elijah Muhammad spoke on.
Yeah, now, man, he spoke on it. I wrote on extensively.
Yeah, I'm interested to if you looked that into deeper detail. There was something a while ago on the message I was watching last time with him, and he mentioned about this and that. But if you know a lot more about it, if you could give us a little bit of information on what is the Mothership.
Yeah, the mother plane. Yeah, it's called the Mothership. The mother plane, the Great Wheel in the sky. The white man calls it UFO, unidentified flying object. So it's got so many titles, man. But the most honorable Mr. Muhammad, he wrote about this extensively in his writings and his speeches, his lectures, his meetings. So it's and even Minister Farrakhan speaks on it a lot. So but it can be found it's in the Bible. But in the Bible, it's called it's in the book of Ezekiel, and Ezekiel talks about a wheel within a wheel. So it's in the Bible as well. But it's man-made. It was made by the original man a very long time ago. And inside the Mothership, there's many smaller ships. And its main purpose is the destruction of Satan's world. So it circles the earth a lot, and it goes around the earth. And at the right time, it will bring justice to the original people. But it's a very deep, intricate, whole part of the Nation of Islam theology, which includes the Mothership or the mother plane. But it's very deep to go into. But on its most basic thing, it's a man-made, a man-built ship that carries other ships, and its main aim of building it is the destruction of Satan and Satan's world, and Satan knows about it.
So this is something that is existed for a long time. The Mothership. The name I caught onto was the wheel. That was the name I caught onto. Then when I was talking to you about it, you said you called it the Mothership. So then that's when I started making the connections and that. And funny, you're saying about like the white man, you'll say UFOs. So that's even interesting as well. So a UFO, unidentified flying object, that's what it basically is, isn't it? But this Mothership now is out of our visible frequency, our visible light. Can we see it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, man. Yeah, if it wants to be seen, it can be seen.
Okay.
If it wants to go further up into orbit, and you won't see it. And it can move at a tremendous speed, and so it's basically impossible to hit. So it's but it continually moves around the earth. So it can be cited. And if you go to Egypt and other ancient monuments, you can see it inscribed in stone. So it's been witnessed. So it's an ancient thing. It's not a new thing. You know what I'm saying? Because those people that built it, they had supreme wisdom. And supreme wisdom means where you can see what's going to happen tomorrow, not just today or yesterday. That's supreme wisdom. Like, even on its most basic level, in wisdom means if you can see some, like, let's say you go somewhere and somebody offers you a drink or a line of cocaine. Now, if you can see, okay, if I take this cocaine, I might end up, I might get an overdose. It could be a bad batch. I could get sick. I could die. I could fall over. Anything could happen to me. So that's wisdom, because even though you haven't taken it, you can see that if I do take it, this is what's going to happen. Or if you're drinking a lot of drink and you're very drunk, and it's time to go, and you've got your car keys in hand. Now you don't have to go into the car, drive the car, crash and die for you to know it's bad. Like, wisdom would tell you, well, if I get in this car, I'm going to be dulled. In my senses will be dulled, and if something happens, I can't react in time. So that's wisdom, and that's on its most basic level. So the mother plane was built by our people, our ancestors, a long time ago, that had wisdom, that could see down the line, that could see into the future, and could see, that our people would be kidnapped and robbed of their name, their language, their culture, their history, their identity, their tribe, and they'd be taken to the other side of the world, and they'd be stripped of everything. And real original black people would be turned into niggers, because we wasn't niggers when we were back home.
Yeah.
We only became niggas when they stripped us of everything.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's it. Whips and chains, man. And colonialism, colonialism. But even colonialism and they're both destruction, colonialism, slavery. I don't compare them, but they are slightly very different as well, because you can go to Africa, even though some countries are colonized by French, British, this and that, but they still are able to preserve the culture a lot more, even though they might take on religions from whether it's wherever it is. But slavery, that was completely just stripped. It's just straight strip your name, your language, your culture, everything. So either way, it's destruction. And original peoples, like everywhere you can see, this planet was African people, and all over the planet, the oldest people, the oldest bones, it's all original peoples. No matter where you look in the world, you look in the water, you're going to see underwater pyramids, certain places that they don't like to speak on, like Japan, all the things down in the Mediterranean. So it's really deep. And with Elijah Muhammad, some powerful information and a lot of people don't credit him. To be honest, these days I actually more credit to them than I want. I was always Malcolm crediting, But at the end of the day, we've got to credit them more, because if it wasn't for the Elijah, you don't know, would he ever be a Malcolm? I really doubt it.
So no chance. No
we have to give credit where credit's due, Definitely.
We have to. Look behind me.
Muhammad Ali.
Yes, man. You see. So you got Muhammad Ali, you got Minister Farrakhan, you got Khalid Abdul Muhammad, you got Malcolm X. The list goes on. You got all the rappers. You got the Panther Party that sprung from the Nation of Islam. You got the Hebrew Israelites that sprung from the Nation of Islam. You got the 5%ers, Gods and Earth, that sprung from the Nation of Islam. I can go on all day.
Yeah.
I can go on all day. So Elijah Muhammad is the fountainhead of all these things. But you're right, though. People don't want to give him credit, and they want to write him out of history and give credit to Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, other people. But they're all them people that we consider great, and they're great. They all sat at the foot.
Exactly.
Literally, Mr. Muhammad. Literally.
Totally. So, he's a very, very important figure. Now, some people, they have the negative thing to say, call him a charlatan, or he was a con, So everyone has their views, and some people think the death of Malcolm. But we spoke on this last time, well, we definitely spoke on a lot of people believe that when he went to Mecca, that's when he seen the real Islam, and he seen all different races. But we spoke on this anyway. So not even to backtrack, where you would tell me before he even went to Mecca, he was aware of a lot of things, basically.
Yes, man. If you read his autobiography, his own book that was written with Alex Haley in his own words. In his book, he says that in the late 50s, early 60s, when he was a Muslim minister, people would approach him that were white skinned and identify themselves as Muslims from Lebanon and Algeria and Syria. So he was aware.
Yeah.
They tried to make it look like, oh, Malcolm thought that Islam is only for black people and only black people can be Muslims. But Malcolm was aware that Malcolm was a very educated brother. That's one thing. He wasn't stupid, very educated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was aware that there's Muslims in Bosnia, in Kosovo, in Russia, in Dagestan, in Azerbaijan. There's Muslims all over the world. Just like there is today. He was then. So people, that's what the enemy does. They try to rewrite history all the time. They always rewrite history. You know what I mean?
Constantly.
Yes, man. Abraham, Moses, David, Solomon, Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad, they were black men too.
Yeah. And all that the connection to Africa or went to Africa, when they were born in Africa or they went to Africa, they all seem to connect.
Yes, man. I'll say it again. And this cannot be challenged by anyone, Muslim, Christian, Jew. No one can challenge it. Every prophet that mentioned, they either went to Africa, they traveled in Africa, they were born in Africa, or they married in Africa, including Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
All of them, without any exception. So that should tell you something. You know what I mean? Or they sent delegations to Africa. So that should tell you something. You know what I'm saying? That should tell you something, bro. Africa is the source. You know what I'm saying?
Total source, And it's interesting as well, we see some people look at it, like me personally, I give my own opinion anyway. I more look at the Nation of Islam as a black liberation movement. I don't look at it as a religion, or even though it might have certain principles relating from whether it's Islam, well, mainly Islam, and obviously other things, and now Kemet, could be probably all different kind of things, but it doesn't stop it being a black liberation movement. Rastafari, I see the same way, a black liberation movement, rather than look at it as a religion. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's many black liberation movements, but it's like some people they want to put it into a bracket of something separate. It's this separation sometimes, but that's how people perceive it, and some people don't perceive it like that. So, but would you agree with it is a black liberation movement and the Nation of Islam?
Yeah, man. The Nation of Islam, right? It's a culture. It's a tribe. It's an identity. So it's not just one thing. It encompasses everything. Just like the sun. The sun, when the sun shines, it covers everything. You know what I mean? It gives life, it gives light, it helps plants grow, it gives warmth, it gives everything. So the same way that the sun does so many things, so does the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
What we call Christians, what we call Islam, true Islam, you know what I mean? And also it's in addition to it being that, it's also an organization. You know what I'm saying? We got captains, we got supreme captains, we got deputies, we got ministers, we got assistant ministers, we got the drill team, we got the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, the GCC, the MGT. You get me? We got different mosques, different branches. We got people who are processing, people who are registered. It's organized. It's organized. You know what I mean? It's got a leadership structure. You know what I mean? It's got a fundraising department. It's got a department that deals with safety, a department that deals with education. We got our own schools. You know what I'm saying? So we got our own, when it comes to food and healthcare and medicine, we got departments that deal with that as well within the nation. So basically, it is what it says on the camera. It's a nation.
Yeah.
You know,
see, people don't recognize these things you've just said.
It's a nation, and the same way that the prime minister has a cabinet, you get me? He's got a minister of what? Of health, defense, a secretary of state, a Home Secretary, a Foreign Secretary, so is the Nation of Islam, because we're a nation, and that's what we need. We need a nation, not just a church or a temple or a mosque. We need a nation. You know, we got so many issues. You know what I'm saying? And just praying 5 times a day is not going to fix everything. We need a nation.
Definitely. That's totally makes sense what you said. I mean, it's all good. Just hoping for the best and praying for the worst, whatever. But it's unity. It's, you know, it's a lot more than that. It's a nation. I totally agree on that one. And so with moving on now, because there's other things we need to cover as well.
Yes, man. So many topics, bro. So many.
There's so many topics, you know what I mean, and like probably need a few different parts and that. But anyway, yeah. So now we have a few deep discussions all the time, and that, you know, we speak about the unseen. Sometimes we're speaking about, we just go into all kinds anyway, you know. And what would you like to touch on, Zabdi, anyway? Anything you'd like, because there's
last time we were speaking about colors, man. You remember the first question we talked about colors? So I want to touch on colors just a little bit more, score a bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? And each time we talk, we should just touch on it because it's an interesting topic. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, in the Nation of Islam, our flag is red. You know what I'm saying? So the color red, it's a very deep color. It's a very deep color. As you can see behind me, even Muhammad Ali, man. You get me? He's got the red background.
Yeah. Wearing the red t-shirt. Yeah, man. I like me red. I like me red.
Now I'm saying, I'm saying, we're Scousers, man. Liverpool City, red. Come on, all day. We bleed red.
I'm red ain't devil.
Yes, man.
Not devil. Red.
Very much color. That's why they make fire engines red. They make fire extinguishers red. You get me? Because it's a color that's, you know, that strikes your imagination. You know what I'm saying? And stands out. Now,
powerful frequency.
Man, they make dresses, you know, in women's clothing in red because it excites certain emotions. So colors are linked. It's deep, man. It's deep, man. But I don't want to stay on color red, but you know, if you look at most European flags, most Caucasian flags, including the American flag, they've got the color blue. America's blue, Israel's blue, Britain's blue, France's blue. Many of them have got the color blue in it. Now, the color blue is it's a deceptive color. That's why the Caucasian, he has blue eyes. He's known as a blue-eyed being. And if you look at the Holy Quran in the 20th chapter, it says that most people in hell are blue-eyed. Now, if you look at, you know, people will tell you that the sky is blue. Like, people will say to you that on a clear day, it's a blue sky, which in itself doesn't make any sense. Because if something's clear, how can it be blue at the same time? You understand me?
Yeah.
It's deceptive. You know, it's deceptive. Because something that's clear, you can see right through it. If something's pure blue, it's not clear. You know what I'm saying? I'll just stop there for now because I don't want to go too deep. Because, you know, sometimes when I talk, it's if you're not plugged in, you won't know what I'm talking about.
It's like even some people talk about the sun and they say the sun is black. And then some people said, no, the sun is actually really white. And then we see it as, from our frequency, yellow. Well, that's what we can see. But it's much more deeper than that. Like, and colors as well. Frequencies behind these colors, you know. And sometimes people don't even realize you're looking at something red, and it gives that certain frequency, a certain energy. Like it's like a deep energy, you know, definitely. So
yes, man. There's a reason why they made the £50 note red. You know, it's the highest denomination in the country. There's a reason why it's red. And you get me? If you look at the money in the UK, you got brown, you got blue, you got red, you got purple. They're not random colors what they picked. You know, there's a reason. And next time I'll go into the reason for them. But there's a reason why they made the £50 note red, and they made the smallest denomination blue and the highest denominations in red. So just want everyone to bear that in mind for now. But later, next time we talk, we'll go into it in greater detail because these people, they know.
Yeah. So all these symbols and like things representing, and keeping away from us. But we've got to tap into our own history because a lot of people just not interested in history. You got to study ancient Kemet. You got to study other parts of Africa and study the world. But some people don't see it as important. A lot of people go on social media, sports, just entertainment, and that's what a lot of people are about. So you don't realize that within a deep world, if you want to use the word mystery, you can. But people need to wake up to reality.
Yes, man. These are very serious times we're living in.
Very serious times.
Very serious times, man. You know what I'm saying? Very serious times.
So
As
see
it
when we
was in the
talk
days
about
before. What shall it be? Go on.
the end times, yeah. Okay, I want to get on to the end times now. Even
Yes,
though,
sir.
so see the signs of the times that we're in. What are the strongest signs that you see to say, you know what, these are the last days,
Yeah,
And
this
when
is
we
heavy,
say
man.
last days, what are we referring to as the last days? Is this like we're all finished, or the wicked are finished? But if you can first give
Okay,
us
man.
the
It's a good
signs.
question.
Okay.
Because with that question, we can combine before you were talking about symbols. So we can
Yeah.
combine symbols and tie it into the answer. But before
Okay.
that, a wise man always told me, anytime you're trying to discuss something and you're trying to find the answer, always refer to the book. So let's go to the book.
Okay. Let's go there.
The book, yeah. What does the book say? The book says that just like lightning shineth in the east. No, just like the sun, you get me? Shineth in the east, so shall it be at the time of the coming of the Son of Man. And it also says that wherever the eagles are gathered, you know what I'm saying? Wherever the eagles are gathered, that's where you'll find, the carcass. What's a carcass? A carcass is the remains of something that was once alive. That's
Yeah.
us, the original people. You know what I'm saying? And what's the symbol of the U.S. government? It's an eagle. It's a bird of prey. So these things were written thousands of years ago, but they relate to what's going on today. And that's why the book says, it says that, leave her, man. Babylon, leave her. Like, my people leave Babylon. Like, Babylon was years ago, but it's talking about a future Babylon. So if
Okay.
you study the scripture,
Yeah.
you understand me? You study the scripture, you study it, then because it's like a mirror. Things that happened yesterday, they reflect what happens today. The same thing, like the story of Moses and the Israelites in Egypt. That was a long time ago. Some people say it didn't happen, but whether it happened or not, one thing we can all agree, it was set a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the same story is taking place today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And saved them mass 100 years. And then a prophet or a messenger or someone from Allah was raised up to liberate the people. And the person was cried out, let my people go. We believe, right, Minister Farrakhan is the result of a prayer. We believe that a long time ago, he was a slave at the bottom of a boat. Not even a slave, an African captive that was kidnapped from Africa at the bottom of a boat that prayed and lived. And Christopher Clark born in 1990, and he was born in 1953, the same year that Mustafa Muhammad signed the. So everything's into your
camera's
question
go
in a long way, but
your camera was breaking
in a
up just
long way.
before, but we could still hear you, but the camera was breaking up. It looks more back to normal now.
Okay.
Some reception problems, probably,
But
so
yes, man. But
back on now.
yes, yeah, must be. But the enemy's time it's up. It's been up since 1914. His time's up. But there's a period of grace. It's less than 100 years. But as you can see, the enemy's world's crumbling. Every day it crumbles. You know what I mean? Remember, and we were kids. Our dad would give us £1, and that pound you could buy, a can of pop, a packet of crisps, a candy bar, a 10p mix, and still have change left. That same pound today, you'd be lucky if you could just buy a drink with it. So the whole world's crumbling. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Most of the power is out east now, in Iran, in China, in Nigeria, South Africa, Russia, Brazil, India. His world's crumbling fast, and he knows it's crumbling fast. So his world's coming to an end. It's at an end, but it's coming to an end. In the old days, this country used to go to war by itself. Now it won't go to war unless it's backed by other nations. America tells it what to do. Look at 1956 in Suez when Britain, France, and Israel attacked Egypt. And Nasser, he stood strong over the Suez Canal, and America told Britain and France and Israel to get, and they left. Look at Vietnam. Look at Afghanistan.
Definitely.
They fled. Now I'm going into politics and geopolitics, which is heavy. So not everyone's. So it's a heavy topic. So I won't go too far into it. But the point I'm trying to make though is that the white man's world is coming to an end. You know what I mean? Years ago, you couldn't touch a white girl. Now they're giving their daughters to us because they know that their numbers are low. So then, just to keep their numbers up, they have to mix with us.
Yeah.
So if you look on any scale, yes, man, this world's crumbling. This world's crumbling, man. It's crumbling. But you still got that facade because many of our people back home, they still think that this is heaven. But when they come here, they see it's nothing but hell.
Well, they say well, I know in the United States, that's what they're worrying about, the population of Black people taking over. It was like 2050 that they were worrying about being a minority in the United States. But when it comes to numbers anyway, statistics, I don't believe numbers people throw out there anyway.
No chance.
And they can even say how many people are in Nigeria, or they can say how many people are in the whole continent of Africa. I don't think them numbers literally at all, especially when it's coming from outside, because when it comes to statistics, it's like we're looking at the Sphinx. He gives his version of the dates. He says it's 5,500 years ago, the Sphinx. So Robert Baval, even another Caucasian man, but he's an independent researcher. Even he say it's like 12,500 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So they're conflicting with each other. Never mind even just conflicting with us and other people. So it's like a war within themselves.
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
The white men don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, breaking up a little bit. Breaking up a bit. I don't know if your sound's gone. Maybe it's the reception where you're at that, but you're back on, yeah. You're back on now. But so at the end of the day, it's that thing what I always say, when someone's looking for an answer, it's that thing called white approval. So if the white man said, yeah, that's correct, then you're more comfortable with it. That's what I find with even a lot of our own scholars. You know what I mean? It's not even down to, even this is why I'm not, I love research and all that and checking different things out. But when you start diving into this science of Western world, anthropology, archaeology, after time, you might just be, where someone's already done what they've done, created the damage, created whatever, their type of evidence. And then even when Sheikh Anta Diop, for example, I was saying, even though he's one of our greats, he's a scientist and that, but when he started, because he went along with the same thing of the Australopithecines with the common ancestor, but I don't think it's down to like he because he's a smart man, but I think it's where something's already created by design, and when he starts doing his anthropology, just like anyone else, it's already the stunt's already been done. If you know what I mean, because how could he? Because he's a trustworthy man, but even he's making that error of saying, yeah, the common ancestor with apes, because of the evidence that he's looking at, the same as other people. But this evidence can be planted.
Of course, man. Like so many things are planted. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, because it also depends on who's finding it anyway. Someone could just dig something in Africa and he could pull out and say, look, this is what an original African comes out. Could be a Caucasian man, but that could have just been put there, or the dealing with in the last times that of the Hicks, after the Hicks, so say even people like the Assyrians, they were pale skinned people, Caucasians. They're like 600 or BC around them times, so when they deal with the anthropology, you don't know which date they're concentrating on because there's many invasions into Kemet. So to do that many different invasions, you've got to like find the oldest ones, which they've already found all the oldest, but you've got to find certain researchers to speak on it anyway. They're not all, and the mainstream is just like, I don't take the mainstream to all serious, man. What do you think of anthropology?
It's a very, very important study, man. Very, it's a big, deep science. But like anything in the enemy's hands, it's going to be, corrupted.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. Anything you put in their hands, even things like, nutrition, mental health, education, defense, scripture, anything in the enemy's hands will be corrupted because he himself is corrupted. And speaking of scripture, in the book of Revelation, the Revelator John, he saw 4 horsemen. Yeah. I'm gonna tie in what you're saying to colors and to scripture, and I just want to talk about 2 of the horsemen. On one horse was black, and he equated that black horse with justice, not death, justice. And one horse was white, a pale horse, and he equated that white horse with what? With death. This is in scripture in the Bible today, book of Revelation. You understand me? Black means justice and white means death. So if I can just skip a couple of steps back to what you were saying, it's like in terms of anthropology, that's what they do. Like even when they say that the first person originated in Africa, what they're trying to say though is that the white man is like the perfect version of a human being. You get me? And the black man is like, he's like a monkey.
Yeah.
So don't be too happy when they're trying to tell you, oh yeah, you people, you birthed the first humans. Because what they're trying to say though is that like, the thing evolved into a European, and that's the highest level. Where in actuality, a European is the lowest level. A white man's the lowest level of a human being. You understand me? Because I don't want to go into too deep, but Master Farah Muhammad taught us, of the history of these things. You know what I mean? And a scientist called Yaqub, he created the white man.
Yaqub.
Just over 6,000 years ago. Yes, man, 6,000. So it's a created thing. You know what I mean? He didn't come from evolution or from God or from the sky. He's created by a black man by splitting certain cells, and multiplying those cells over the time period where you go from black to brown to yellow to red, eventually to white. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a white man is. He's like a broken down version of a black man, but he comes from the black man.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But one day I'll go into great detail of where I'll bring my sources, and all these things I'm saying, it's all backed up by science. Everything. So I'm not speaking, all this is science now. Because even that's why today you get 2 black people that can give birth to a white baby.
That's right.
It's happened. It's possible.
Happened.
You understand me? Because these people, they come from us. And also, you can get white people that can give birth to a black, because, you're saying, they come from us. You know what I mean? Why do you think that they're always trying to get bigger bun and bigger lips and try and get suntans? But they're trying to subconsciously, they're trying to get back to what they originally were.
The original state, because that's why you see all these indigenous groups around the world. These groups who stayed in the hot climate, they were able to preserve their African spirituality. When them going off into the ice age and just living in the harsh, crazy environments, they totally lost their spirituality, and then later on got religion, through what was working for them. But we go and log back in. If we're going to log back in, because we're going to be finishing off, but we're going to be coming back for the part 2. So Yeah, but next anyway, we're going on some deep stuff here. Where are we from? Are we not from Earth? That's where we're going next on part
That's
two.
our altogether, yeah.
All right, yeah, we back again. Original peoples, we had to take a little commercial break, but anyway, what it was is, anyways, we heard different things of where did we come from. There's many stories, so many different stories, biblical stories. There's ancient Africans and indigenous peoples have their versions and that, but the story that is quite fascinating is we are not from Earth. I mean, you definitely someone I can speak to about that.
Yes, man. Yeah. I think that we touched upon it on the second podcast. But yeah, man, we're great in the earth, man. Of course, we're African. We love Africa. Africa's the motherland, the homeland, the Nile Valley, other places. But we're greater than that. You get me? Like, we're even greater than the whole universe. Like, we're the original people, man. I mean, we represent Allah, God. You get me? Now I'm saying so. But if I just want to go, but I don't want to go back too far. If I just go back a couple of say 20, 50, 40, 60,000 years ago, we believe that the Earth and the Moon were connected. We spoke about it, but I'll touch upon it again. They were connected. You understand me? And then there was a man called Shabazz separated the two. I won't go into how he did it, but there's no time. But he separated the two, and and the moon broke off from the earth and spun off. That's why it still tries to pull the earth back towards it today. And then there were certain people that came down from that side of the moon onto this planet, and it's us today. But it's a long, intricate story. Last time I touched upon it a lot more, but I don't. But there's no time to go into it in detail because these kind of things, to do them justice, you need to be speaking on them in 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. It's all because they're very deep, man.
Yeah.
So I want to be fair to them. You know what I mean? Because I can just give you a quick 2-minute talk, but it's not fair because they're so deep.
It's deep.
And they're important issues that you're not going to get anywhere else in reality. All them people on your podcast, they're all brilliant people and they're decorated, but they're not going to talk these kind of these kind of histories, these kind of supreme wisdoms, these kind of gems that are taken directly from Master Fard Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, Minister Farrakhan. They're not gonna get that. So because I'm the only one that's gonna do it, brother, I feel that when I'm here talking, I need to touch upon these things, anytime to break them down and explain them in detail so people understand them.
Yeah, because it is deep. It's
So yeah, man.
It is deep,
man. So please forgive me if I'm not going into detail because there's no time. But next time we'll make time, inshallah.
Yeah. So it's interesting though. It is, man. Like, I mean, because anthropologists and it's connecting us with other sources, other animals, and all this one and that. And then another one as well is an interesting one, because when I ask you a question as a Muslim, I get it's more of an opener, bigger scope, and I give an example. What's God? How do you see God or Allah? Sorry, that's the best way to put it. Like in any kind of image or in any kind of description.
Yeah, man, that's a big question, man. You know what I mean? And it's even that it take me half an hour to break it down. But simply put, Allah, like it's an Arabic word, and really it's two words put together. It's not one word. Even though we say Allah like it's two words put together. It's not one. It means their God, because at that time, and even today, many people have many gods. A god of rain, a god of thunder, a god of harvesting, a god of fertility. So at that time, they had many, many different gods. A god of war, you get me? A god of marriage, you know what I mean? But they had an overall god, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when Muhammad came, all them other gods, you get me? And just one more thing, all them other gods I spoke about before, the god of war, the god of rain, the god of thunder, they all are just different manifestations of the same God anyway. It just
aspects.
The way people's brains work, they need to break things down. Yeah, they need to break things down. So when Messenger Muhammad came, he took all them other gods away and just got back to the original God. But before there was a Muhammad, before there was a Jesus and Moses, David, Solomon, I've said it once, I'll say it again. We existed. You understand me? And
Yeah.
we worship the true one God. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That we today call Allah, but in
Like
in
before
many
Adam.
languages, you have many different names.
Like
Yes,
before
man,
Adam.
many different names. Yes, man, of course. Because Adam wasn't the first man, but that's a whole different
Exactly.
topic anyway. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The first man was the original man.
Exactly.
That's us, the so-called black man. We're the original man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So yeah, man.
all
So it's
these
a deep,
titles that we take on
but
from oppressors and that, we take on too many
it's
titles
a
and that.
it's the last thing. It's in you, bro. It's not in the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's it, man.
It's inside you. You know what I mean? If you break the name of Allah down in
Yeah.
English, you got 5 letters: ALLAH. It's arm, leg, arm, head. It's, you understand me? Now,
Yeah.
most people don't know what I'm talking about, but I know you know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Mm,
So it's deep, man. You know what I mean? In the
very
name of
deep.
Islam, SLAM, I follow the master. It's deep.
You know what's interesting as well?
You know what I mean? The answers in the question.
You know what's interesting as well is certain people have described there's a lot of science in the Quran, which is interesting as well. Would you agree with
A
that?
lot.
I've not actually gone through the Quran, so I can't actually say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of science, man. A lot of things. But I'll just give you one example because there's loads
Mm,
of examples. But did you know that iron, like it's only recently that the white man knew that, iron, it comes from the sky. It don't
okay.
come from the ground. It don't come from the ground. The Holy Quran said that over 1,000 years ago. The iron
Mm,
it comes from the sky. It comes from outer space. That's how we get iron. Yeah, and we find it in the ground, yes, but it don't come from the ground.
mm,
So that's how you know that this Holy Quran it's a serious book. It's
yeah.
telling you things that at that time, no Arab in the desert that can't read or write to get me would know
Yeah.
these things. You
Yeah. Yeah.
understand me? What I'm
Totally.
saying? So
Totally.
it's been proven. It's been proven. And another thing the Holy Quran says, mountains, like the Holy Quran, it says that mountains are like pegs, like staples, like they keep things, tectonic plates. This is in the Quran. How would you know that? And all these things, they just found them out recently, the white man that is. So it's because if you look at a mountain, all you can see is the top bit, but deep underneath the mountain, as above, so below. So it's like a nail, it's like a half nail that's been hammered into the ground. So it's because no mountains, they don't just sit there. They're literally built into the ground. You know what I'm saying? So these are in the Holy Quran of the reason and the purpose of these things. But at that time, no European knew that. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
these people, they know that the Quran is true. They know the Quran's got the truth in it. They know the teachings of Mr. Muhammad are true. They know Allah. That's why they don't bother us, because they know. They know. The only people
Yeah.
that don't know is us. Indians know. Chinaman knows. White man knows. Everyone knows. Arab brothers know. Everyone knows the truth. That the black man is the original man. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying?
No doubt
That's Allah's
about that.
favorite man. Allah blessed the black man.
Yeah.
We're the most blessed people in the universe. Everyone knows this except us. You know what I'm saying? And because they know we don't know it, that's why they exploit us. But when they meet me, oh, brother, they're all polite because they know I know. But when they know you know, the
Yeah.
game's up.
That's
Both of
it.
us don't know.
Game. It is.
You know
It's
what I'm
game
saying?
over because
Yeah, man.
when people see that you seek truth, you have that true knowledge yourself. People can't mess about with that. Like they have to come clean or play dumb. So
Yeah,
I get this
yeah.
everywhere. You go into Asia.
It's
I'm
so true.
search. I'm searching for the indigenous people like live, and then everyone tell me they don't know these people, or tell me that even tour operators tell me that don't know what I'm talking about, don't exist, and they don't know how I'm gonna get there. But you know what though? On a deep level, when you're not giving into something, you always find what you're looking for, and it's much more deeper when I'm going out on these searches, especially with the barriers. I mean, there's always barriers when we're trying to connect to connect back to something pure, something ancient, something about ancestors. He's always throwing barriers in the way, wherever we go in the world, you know. So especially in Asia, and Asia is a very important place for research for Black people or African people, but it's because it's so underrated. People don't understand. Like, people think, well, why? What's Asia got to do with Africa? But it's got a lot to do with it. There's
Yes.
it's a massive continent, which
Yeah.
Africans have been all over Asia. This biggest
With the
continent.
Asiatic black man, where
You
the
know what I'm saying?
Asiatic black man,
You know what I'm
where the
saying?
Asiatic black man.
That's it, man. We move everywhere, man. Ibn Rashid, the interesting one. He said, we don't think in terms of continents back in ancient Africa. And then he put it that if we did, we would have called Africa Southeast Asia or Southwest Asia. And it was like, well, where did he come up with something like that, man?
Yeah. You see,
You know,
that's funny say that because Mr. Muhammad, he refers to what's called Africa today as East Asia. Did you know that?
yeah.
So that's, you see, that's what he refers to what's called Africa today. He refers to it in his writings as East Asia. Yes, man. You know what I'm saying? So because, like I said last time, I'll say it again. At that time, this whole planet was called Asia. You know what I'm saying? At that time, not just that part of the world. And there's a big difference between Asiatic and Asian. Big difference, bro.
Big difference. Yeah.
But listen, man, I wrote a poem. I want to say a poem. I wrote a poem especially for you, especially for the program.
Yes.
So I want to say a poem.
Look forward to that.
With your permission.
Of course.
Are you ready, brother?
Are you ready?
Okay. It goes like this. It goes like this. For myself, wealth always felt good. But of course, having my health feels even better, like sunny weather. Brothers be laying deader than Tupac and Biggie put together. A lot only knows where it ends. My friends told me that these are strange times, but you don't listen to these words in my rhymes. He still lives. That's the Honorable Elijah, the leader, the teacher, and the lost tribes guider, the spiritual leader of the Muslims in the West. He taught that the tribe of Shabazz is still the best. So watch the sky, look for the moon and the crescent. Heaven and hell are not farther in the present. And I know why, because I'm NOI, my race, culture, religion. I'm going against this white system. It's us against them. Militarism, preparing myself for Armageddon. I'm like Marcus Garvey, got that flag with the blue, with the green, black, and red in. And my only weapon is my belief that I'm superior. In my blood is Egyptian and Nigeria. That's it, brother.
Yeah, man. Nice poem, man. Yeah. Salute, man. Saluting that, man. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, man. We, as Black people, you know, the African, the talented, naturally talented people, started music, started civilization, started many things, and other people can take credit. Example, you talk about agriculture started in the Middle East when there's many Africans who knew about farming way back. Before then, you know, and I don't like this dates that we always get. Your civilization started this time. No, that's totally false. Sometimes we can't even give dates. Our civilizations are so old sometimes, you can't even put a date on it, you know, and how far we go back. Could it be being here at the time of Pangaea? And I think we talked upon this a bit last time about Pangaea, because it's referred to as when we came on the planet, the continents have already broke up. But it would actually make more sense that the continents were together when we left, you know, but then they put the timeline on us, which, you know, we don't need to deal with no timeline. We don't know exactly the date. We just know that we're the original people on this planet, and nothing is before, and in the future, nothing will be after.
Nothing matters. Yeah, that's right. I mean, before Alpha and after Omega. That's what I'm trying to say, man. You get me? Swear, man. I mean, the black. Come on.
Cycles.
Don't get me started with it, because if I talk now, I mean, trust me, I'll be going in. I swear down.
Well, it's cycles, though, isn't it? You know, we've got to recognize. Some people will say cycles. Some people will say other things. You know what I mean? Some people say this is the sign of the times. But like we say, the sign of the times, it doesn't mean that's the end of us all.
No, it's the end of Satan and his world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we got to be clear. Rather than get all
Yeah, of the righteous.
anxiety. Yeah.
Nah, Satan and his world. You know what I mean? And he knows it. That's why he works night and day to cause havoc and cause mischief throughout the land, because he knows. You understand me? If they're so superior and they're so civilized, why do they spend all their time meddling in Africa and Asia and Latin America in foreign countries? Why? Because they know if they, why do they spend all the time putting drugs in our community? You know what I'm saying? Putting guns in our community. You know what I mean? Always trying to poison our community. We got the worst food, worst everything. If they're so brilliant, why do they spend all their time trying to keep us down? Because they know on a level playing field, we'll overtake them every time. Every time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Every time.
Definitely.
You know what I
mean? We it's already been done,
no,
and it's already been
that's
proven.
one trick you judge
You
on.
know,
Oh,
people just need to dig it up. That's what it is, man. People need to dig it up. So
that's why they spend their level. And even when they do that, we still have some.
The audio going a bit down there. Don't know if the reception's not cutting out there, Zab. Yeah, you're back on now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best reception. But brother man, I'm giving them people gold for free, so I don't want to talk too long. We spoke for almost an hour now, so I don't want to speak too much, man. I want to say these things in bite-sized pieces, maybe an hour, half an hour, and then because listen, you're my boy, so I'm here to support you, brother. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do many of these podcasts anyway, so there's no rush, man. You get me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like a family.
Yeah, man. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? We don't need to get drunk. Are you getting me? So
yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to say assalamu alaikum to everybody. All praise is due to Allah. You know what I mean? The Nation of Islam is the only solution to the problems facing us in the Western world today. I believe, you know what I'm saying? The teachings, if we just follow the teachings, the economic program of Mr. Muhammad, the religious program, we clean ourselves up, respect our women, respect ourselves, unite amongst ourselves, pool our resources. You know what I mean? We can be the best we can ever be. I swear down. You know what I mean? So I just want to get that out there to the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seek knowledge.
Yes, man. That's right. Seek knowledge, man. Exercise, live right. You know what I mean? I saw you smoking before. I've got to say it, brother, as a future minister, that's not good for you. You know what I mean? Stop that, man. Please stop it. Respectfully.
That's some real talk, man. Real
talk. Man. Take care of yourself. Respect your body. Your body is a temple, bro. You wouldn't smoke in the mosque. You know what I'm saying? So, and your body is more precious than the mosque. And we can build another one, but we can't build another Diboe.
Yeah, that's it, of course. Health is wealth, man. You know what I'm saying?
So totally agree. Keep your body right, man. I mean, you get in what you get out what you put in.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, trust me. You know what I mean? And we're friends, and that's what friends do. They advise each other sincerely. Each other's best interest. That's a friend. I can't see you doing something that I believe is bad. I wouldn't do. I'm just keep quiet. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't expect the same from you. So,
and it's constructive at the end of the day, constructive criticism. If you can't give constructive criticism, then you're leaving someone to fall, where it's not about that. You gotta look out for your peoples, man. And we go way back anyway, man. You know what I mean? Like Ezra, Michael, piece of the family, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man. We got long history, and we're connected back to Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So
say that.
You know what I'm saying? We were the ones we have our Nigerian names, and so we identified. And when you say names, our names, it's not even just one thing, we have meaning to our names, number one. But the vibration of our names, of any African names, which is much more deep. So when you say those names, you're calling on something. It's not just like you're saying that name. It's much more deeper, than saying James or some names like that, you know what I mean?
Yes, man. It means everything. That's why they don't want us to have it, because they understand it means everything. It means everything. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. And reconnect. I mean, at the end of the day, even people, you might have slave master names. even from my own mother's side, you know, they come through the slave trade. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm lucky and fortunate to have a Nigerian name from his father's side and that. But anyone, I believe that, you know, reconnect and take your names back, take your culture back, and then slowly your language will come back through generations. Get back to the motherland, you know. At the same time, it's not like you know, some people in the world might think, yeah, let's go back to the motherland just to mess about. No, we'll go there on some serious, serious responsibilities and seeing the bigger picture of all this, and go and get your land out there. At the same time, you know, respect the people, they respect you, and that's how it is, man. Pan-Africanism, wherever we are on this planet, man. Well, bless up Zabdi, man. This is James Diboe. Got Zabdi on the show, dedicated to original peoples, as always. And thank you very much. This is from my channel. So we're doing it the new way. Peace, my brother.
Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
Peace, man. One.